Hey, it's me, Barney, and welcome to A Bit Spursy for another week of the year. What number week of the year is it, Dan?
36.
Is it?
No.
Okay, all right.
Was not expecting that question.
I wasn't expecting an answer. I was like, whoa.
We're probably in the 40s, approaching 40.
Yeah.
36 is probably not
Is there a way
bad.
to find out?
Yeah, let's spend the first 10 minutes working this out. That's a great use of
Yeah, that's good. Let's do it. Let's do it. Nothing to talk about Spurs-wise, so we'll just do this. No, we won.
We won.
We won, and we won good.
Very convincingly.
Yeah, we won so good. We really hurt them.
Yeah, it was very, very nervy at the start. And then 4 minutes they scored, but I still didn't really care at that stage. That sounds weird. I wasn't worried.
I didn't care.
I didn't care about the game at that stage.
I didn't really give a shit about it. No, it was funny though, the feeling of them scoring. You know, when we were always conceding under Conte, and it was always like, oh my God, this is bad. When they scored, I was like, that's fine. We'll score. We're going to score. So, and we did.
Yeah.
5 times.
5 times.
Mm-hmm.
I did think it looked like maybe it would be one of those games of like a 4-3 or a 3-2 or something. Like there will definitely be goals in this game, but we'll come out on top because we've just got the quality to do so. And it was kind of, I don't want to sound belittling to Burnley, but they're probably going to have to start playing a little bit differently if they're going to stay up.
Yeah.
Given I think they're rock bottom now.
Yeah.
And it just sort of shows the gulf between the championship of they can play like they are in such a free, expressive manner, very cavalier, but then you go up to the Premier League and with the players that they have, oof.
Yeah.
Oh, they are in for a rough season.
It reminded me of under Poch when if teams would come to play, we would smash them. And it felt a little bit like that. It was like, oh, you want to try play, even though allegedly, apparently, according to experts, the way to play against us is to play that kind of high press, which gave us, I guess, some problems initially. But then, yeah, you're right. They just didn't have the quality to make it effective for 90 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I was watching a Tifo video during the week. I can't remember the title of it, but it was talking about like Pep and always reinventing and all those sorts of things.
Yeah.
But I just found it interesting that apparently, so Pep sort of had to start adjusting things because a lot of teams go and just press more so than sitting back in a low block.
Yep.
And I figured that this is probably what's going to happen to us, which is to what you're saying, that like we'll get some teams maybe who sit back, but a lot of these teams, like especially if they've got a lot of hardworking players, they are probably going to try and press us and turn over the ball higher up the field. But we're just passing through them, slicing through them like a bit of salmon.
Like a salmon meeting a very sharp knife.
Yeah. And it's working. It's working so well.
Yeah, it is. It's working fantastically well.
Yeah.
It's funny, even when there was a couple of times where we were doing like a triangle involving Vicario, and I was initially like, what are we doing? But then at the same time being like, we'll work it out. It'll be fine. And sometimes we did, and other times it just involved someone being like, ah, and bombing it. But yeah, it's funny how quickly, and we've said this, I think, every podcast, the style of play's changed in a way that is effective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're right, like all those times last season, which might be like residual shocks that you're feeling of like going back to Hugo. And even if Hugo's got a player like 30 meters away from him, we're like, no, get rid of it, do something.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like Vicario, we're like, meh, fine. Gonna do a little like back heel thing, whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Go for it.
Yeah, it's funny how, like, at this point, I've started to see a lot more Paratici, like, wow, he was actually a genius.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, you put up anything positive about any of Paratici's transfer dealings, disregard all the dodgy aspects of it, but like, 6 months ago, and then you would just get like vultures, people would come for you and like, oh, what? He's just signed Dross. It's just rubbish this whole time. But then now you're right. You're seeing a lot of like, Paratici's a modern transfer genius.
Yeah. We were all playing checkers while he was playing 4D chess. which I don't think's true either. It's just it's funny, nice. It's funny how things, I guess in football shift. So like you can never rely on the fact that the public opinion of one particular player or manager or a director of football, whatever, how different that's going to be in 6 months' time after who knows what event.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. It's just like it changes so quickly.
Yeah.
Like it's ridiculous. But yeah, like even now I guess we're jumping ahead a little bit, but like the big news from overnight specifically is the transfers of Davinson has been sold to Galatasaray. Tungi has gone on loan, which we understand to be a moist loan.
Yeah. Could you explain the tier of loans?
So the tiers of loans we have is a dry loan, no commitment. So I think Reguilon is in a dry loan. I hope Man U are paying his wages.
Yeah,
but he's on a dry loan, no option to buy, which is kind of a bit disappointing. But then you go up from that option to buy, moist loan.
Yeah. Okay.
Just a little bit moist loan, which is Tanguy's loan. Moist, 15 mil apparently, 15 million euros
for Tanguy or for Davidson?
For Tanguy.
Really?
Yeah, if they choose to activate.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then you have the wet loan, which is an obligation to buy.
Yeah, right. Nice.
So I don't know where these. Well, we made up moist and wet, but like I mean, dry loan. I don't know actually what that means.
Dry loan. I guess there's no like wetness to it. There's no moistness. There's no extra little sauce. It's just like it's this, and then if they want to buy the player, they have to compete with other clubs who might want to buy the player. Yeah.
Maybe it goes to. I'm just thinking like if you're like salivating over like an obligation to buy, and you're like, it's like, oh great, we're just like, we're just working out some clever bookkeeping. So you're salivating, it's dripping from the mouth. Whereas like if it's just a straight loan, it's just like, that's just
that's a bit. It's tart. That's the most revolting image, Dan, that you've put in my head of people sitting at a club doing transfers going, I can't even speak properly. I've got so much saliva. It's a delicious loan.
That's what happens, though. They're around the boardroom. They just announce what type of loan it is.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, or it's just like, and it's just going
What happens if they sell a player, or do they just explode?
That's why we don't sell players straight off the bat now, because we have to be very, very sure that we're not going to explode board members that we need.
Yeah. Okay, that all makes sense.
Yeah.
That's a tight piece of logic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
No questions.
No questions? No questions. To jump back to the game, Richarlison was on the bench, which I believe at the time a commentator or someone mentioned something about an injury. He wasn't injured. Come on.
Yeah, it's whatever injury, it must be a very, very light one.
I think it's a psychological injury.
It's a little bit of a rest.
Yeah.
But if that's the case, I don't mind if, Ange was like, he's just got an injury.
Oh, yeah.
And he's just taking him aside to take him out of the spotlight a little bit.
Yeah. And I guess that's what you want from a manager, considering the last two we've had. Like, he doesn't understand my game plan, or
dumb player.
Dumb. Like instead, club signing, blah, blah, blah. Like it's much better, and the player obviously would appreciate it much more.
Yeah.
With they're injured.
Well, I like as well that whenever the journalists are asking the same questions that they would ask to, say, Mourinho or Conte, and that's where he mates them. Where they're like, so Ange, is Brennan Johnson like club signing with blah blah club signing? And he's like, mate, it just doesn't work like that, mate. Like any player that comes in, that's my player. Like I'm signing off on everyone. Like, I work with who we've got. Like, what do you? No, this is this is a good concept.
Yeah.
And the journalist is kind of like, okay, okay. No, I don't have any more questions.
I don't want to ruin this new mateship that I've formed. Also, I wanted to reference on the game day Vincent Kompany's outfit.
Oh, yeah.
Which is atrocious.
Yeah, it was. I think Young Focus on the Discord said he looks like a tech startup billionaire.
He did. Yeah, he looked terrible.
Yeah, it looks like the cap was just a very cheap merch cap that they
Yep.
just got printed around the corner. And then it was just very like, cool suit. What's going on? And with sneakers, what's up?
Yeah, it was very much like someone who's trying to say they're a chill guy, but they're the most wound up person in the history of the world.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like.
It reminds me of like Ralph Hasenhüttl when we played them and he had his like 3-piece suit with like just like getting real dressed up with a specific vibe. And it's like, I don't know if they've got a stylist. I think this is a self-directed call.
Yeah. And I think Ange made Paul Vincent look worse because Ange was just wearing polo shirt, pants.
Yeah.
And then you've got this person being like, it's a cap, but it's a suit. And
which is so like funny to me to watch on the sides where you think you're watching, like, say, a company how he's dressed. And you're like, all right, that manager's probably going to play some real sexy football. And you see Ange, just general appearance, everyone still writes him with a little bit of like, dumb Aussie, like, just in a polo, dad just rocked up to, cover training for the day and just plays such a slick brand of football, which you would not expect if you, like, held up these cards and go, who is playing a really nice game?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, no, he doesn't. He looks like some of the managers of old.
Yeah.
Who like to hoof the ball.
Yeah.
But he's actually the slickest man alive.
The slickest. We call him Mr. Oil.
Mr. Oil. Oh, no. That's Pep, isn't it?
That's Pep. Pep is Mr. Oil.
Yeah. On Mr. Oil, thank God Newcastle lost. And they were wearing their green kits.
Yeah, that's great.
What?
Love the owners will be like, great. We'll promote the country. We'll promote the team with beautiful win today.
Yeah.
Loss. Okay.
Okay. Oh, and everyone hates the kits. I don't know what Newcastle fans think, but to me, it's just like It's revolting.
Yeah, I think I am seeing more. It's really hard to tell as well. Like when you're online, if as you keep blocking your people on your timeline, that the algorithm starts maybe being kind to you in some way.
Yeah.
But I am seeing more like Newcastle accounts that are tweeting sort of opposition to certain things now.
Yeah.
And I think it's when every little extra thing happens, like when Newcastle, like, oh, we're having a whole bunch of Saudi friendlies here and all that people are starting to maybe turn the corner a little bit. However, there are, of course, a whole bunch of fans who just don't care and just want to win. And
but they're not winning.
But they're not. So imagine if they got relegated.
Oh, wow. that would be a moist loan. That would be a wet loan for me. Yeah, that would be unreal.
That would be an absolute soppingly wet loan.
That would.
Yeah. But Richarlison left out. And how do you feel seeing Son start and saying that we would be seeing him through the middle?
Fantastic. It felt fantastic. I think that's where he should play.
Yeah.
Always, which I know is a problem for Richarlison, but he's so effective and so clinical, as we saw. And I was a little bit less sure about our new friend Solomon. It's Solomon, right?
Solomon, yeah.
I, for some reason, was doubting myself. I don't know why. I was like, as I said on a previous podcast, I was like, look crap in pre-season, write him off.
I think last week you slated Solomon.
Yeah, I did. And then, well, he proved me wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was really good.
Yeah. Well, I think it's like he maybe at the start of the game, he looked like he was a little bit out of sorts in some ways, but like he definitely, to me as well, came good.
Yeah.
2 great assists and also just like very relentless. I don't know if anyone can hear that, but if you can hear dogs squealing, they are okay. They are just our dogs in the background.
Yeah. Guys, these dogs, they need help.
They don't need help. They are fine. Yeah. They are very well looked after.
No, they are. And that first goal I wrote, Porro at fault for goal. Again, this is another one that I'm a little bit about. But then also Decky missed a tackle in midfield that led to, and also we'd kind of moved over to the left-hand side to sort of, I don't know tactics. Just be there. And
Barney, don't tell them.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess I always think about maybe the one thing that positive I took from the Mourinho era is him, or that Amazon documentary. He talks about where does this goal start, and he goes all the way back to it happens here. That's when it happens, and it's changed the way when we concede, I go like, okay, but when did that actually happen? Like, what led to that being a goal we conceded rather than a chance that we managed to like snuff out?
Yeah, I love it. I love just the idea you'll be like, Skip's fault. And I'll be like, he got subbed off 20 minutes ago.
Nah.
Trace it back.
Trace it back, bro. Trust me, it's all connected. Everything in this game is connected.
This is what, like any of your commentary on it is just completely scattered to all of us.
Yeah.
But to you, you're drawing this like serial killer map of like where the goal came from initially.
Yeah, we considered that goal because of Darren Bent.
Yeah.
Like, what? It's all connected, baby.
But yeah, like Porro, we know there's different defensive frailties there. But it's kind of, I find it refreshing to watch these games knowing that we are going to have some weaknesses in certain situations there. But knowing that is part of the plan in a sense. Obviously, over time, you want to get a bit better in ironing those out, but still, it doesn't cause me as much concern. But it's still good to like point these things out, and just so we are aware of like, all right, we know that Porro, especially more so one-on-one defensive situations, can get in a little bit of trouble.
Yes, he sure can. Obviously, yeah. What did you think of Son through the middle? Just to jump back to that, everything's connected.
Great. I think I was really interested to see him start there. Because like we've talked about it, a whole bunch of Spurs fans have talked about it, like Son being such a nice fit, possibly for Ange's system, and then to see him there and to see him score 3 and just be so clinical, it's like I feel like I've fallen in love with Son again, and I never really fell out of love with him, but just last season I think it was really just challenging for him overall. But now it's like it feels like we've got our Son back.
So you've it's been suggested to you, let's renew our vows. You've gone, but I don't need to. We don't need that kind of restart. Yeah. But then you go along with it and you're up at that renewing vows altar. You're crying.
I'm crying. I've written 10 pages.
Yeah.
And everyone is a tearjerker.
Yeah, every single one. The goal of the match, though, was Romero.
Yeah. So unexpected.
Yeah, it was bananas.
Yeah.
Like what I loved after the goal when we had to do the VAR check that seemed to go for about 10 minutes. It was footage of him standing there and he's like clutching his face.
Yeah.
He's running his hands through his hair. I've never seen him look so nervous. He was like, I need this.
Yeah.
I need this goal.
This can't be rejected, surely.
Yeah.
This is a legitimate worldie. What's going on?
Yeah, it was incredible. Like, what a strike. And it's so good that I'm like, he didn't mean to do
that. Yeah. No, he was trying to kick, like, Madison or something.
Yeah.
And maybe that's how they're getting through to him, like, Christian, if you just pretend the ball is any of your teammates' asses.
Yeah, after they score.
And just kick it with the same ferocity.
Yeah.
And then now they've just unleashed that he's this shadow striker that just comes through and just banks it into the top corner.
Yeah, that was amazing.
It was really great. I felt like all of our goals, like, that was probably the one which came from, a bit of like a rebound popped out and just great finish. The rest of them all felt like very intentional.
Yeah.
And I think that was so nice to see that on, like, if we're even hitting them on the counter, that we're making smart decisions, which that's why I was impressed with Solomon. Like the couple of times he slotted through Son. So one was slot through and then one was cutback. But like, it just seems like we're hopefully going to be a bit more clinical with the chances that we get now. Because I felt last season we were so wasteful with chances that we had, and we only had like 3 a game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think you're right in terms of the other goals. They were better goals in terms of the team moving forward because they were slick and they felt like there was a plan in terms of like, this is the outcome we wanted. We got a goal.
Yeah.
Whether Romero absolutely smashing it. It's a bit like, when you play. I remember this a lot under AVB when Bale would score like a worldie, but we'd been so turgid for the entire game, and we were literally just relying on him to do that every single game.
Yeah.
This did not feel like that at all.
No, definitely not. And it was so nice to see just keep applying the pressure.
Mm.
Like I loved that Maddison goal where it's like he just has a bit of space, and it was a very like F you.
Mm-hmm.
You give me the space, I'm burying it.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Yeah,
and just puts it in, and it was like I was like, that is, oh my gosh, James Maddison.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was amazing. I loved as well after his corner that led to the Romero goal when he was cupping his ears at the Burnley fans.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
He gives it back.
Yeah, he really does. Yeah. But yeah, that goal, I couldn't, he was in, like he had the whole pitch to himself.
Yes.
It felt, when he got the ball, and maybe this is just complete bias because he did score, but when he got it, I was like, this is a goal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it felt like the way that he's playing, it's like, all right, this is a goal now.
Yeah.
And like, hopefully we're going to, as we get into games where we're going to need someone to step up and do something, it's good that it's not just, say, going to be relying on Son, for example, to do that. And you do have someone like Maddison who can put the team on his back and go, all right, it's Jimmy time.
Jimmy time. Do you reckon that's what he calls it in his head?
I think it's Jimmy time.
But before he struck that ball, he went, Jimmy time.
Jimmy time.
Oh, God. I hope that's not the case. Jimmy time.
Jimmy time. Boop.
Clock started.
The other goal, which I thought was so lovely too, was Porro's ball through to Son.
Yeah, that was great.
Was just so even the frailties you get from Porro at the back. Oh, hello.
Forward, he is soaking wet.
Yeah.
And I mean that in a good way.
Yeah, very dry going back.
Yeah.
Quite dry. But soaking wet going forward.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. And obviously on the other side, Doggy played a perfect game. So it's fucked how good he is. Like, I honestly cannot believe that we have this player and he's this good. And I've already started seeing stuff on Twitter being like, okay, but if he is this good, that means he's going to go to Real Madrid in like a year's time. It's like, all right, well, let's just hang on and enjoy how good he is at the moment. Yeah. We have no idea.
And also the fact that the players are having fun in this system, I think that speaks to a lot. Like, because we've already got good facilities, good stadium, good, all that stuff. Players would love that. But then to actually have fun when they're playing, love Ange.
Yeah. Suddenly
it makes those draw cards of going to play for these other, bigger teams. I think it gives us more weight to like stay with Spurs if they're all together and they feel like something's building and it's enjoyable.
Yeah, yeah. And we've got that wonderful, and hope long may it continue, kind of grace period where it's my favorite. I think it's my favorite part about supporting any team, but Spurs at the moment, where there's literally zero expectation because we were told that we were going to finish, in the lower end of the top half or, mid-table.
Yeah.
And now, so far, that does not look like it will be the case.
No, it's funny now seeing some accounts pop up and go, see, I told you Spurs were title contenders.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, we've been there before.
Yeah.
A bit early on that.
Yeah, let's just not do that.
No, let's not do that yet.
Yeah.
But I'm very confident seeing us play like this that we can get top 4.
Yeah, yeah. Wouldn't that be nice?
Wouldn't that be nice? That would be amazing.
Although I am enjoying, the fact that there's no, as much as it's great to be in the Champions League, there's no like, well, they did have a game on Tuesday and they might be a bit tired. Just for that not to be a factor.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
I feel like Conte is going to be sitting back and be going like, well, this is the perfect season for me.
Yeah.
A week before each game.
Yeah.
Well, I would have won the title.
Yeah, I would have won the title if I'd done this. What am I saying? Season.
Yeah. Now we've got BJ, Brennan Johnson.
Yeah, BJ. God, you are filthy today. Wet loans, BJ. Dry loans.
Dry loans being the filthiest.
Yes.
That's where people switch off.
Yeah. Anyway, BJ.
BJ. Well, I don't know of any other nickname for him. So
Gobbies.
I love you called me out and then you just blasted through the line. Gobbies is coming in.
Yeah, God.
And I'm very, very excited now about this transfer after hearing other people talk about it.
Yeah, right.
And a lot of hope around him and a lot of excitement and people saying he will probably end up coming in displacing Kulusevski.
Mm-hmm.
And we might then get maybe more of like, say, a Solomon-son, Johnson frontline.
Yep.
Which would fit in a lot more with Ange. But then we've also got options with like Decky. Decky could play in midfield more. Like
that would be really great. So people are saying they think that he'll displace Decky out of this season.
Yeah.
This season.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, because he's quicker.
Quicker gets around the outside, and also good eye for goal, but also can play through the middle too. Mm-hmm. So we might see him play there. I'm not necessarily calling for Decky to be replaced, but I think it's way more interesting if like our front 6 players, we've got like Son, Johnson, Solomon, Perisic, Richarlison, Decky. I feel like you get some really interesting combinations there, depending on who the opponent is, what stage of the game we're at, and all that.
Yeah, that's so true. I had something and now it's gone, but it was to do with BJ. It was to do with Gobby. Oh, yes. I've got it. You said he's got an eye for goal. Is that I read something somewhere and I can barely remember this, so I don't know if it's true. That his goal output wasn't very good. Like it was like quite low considering the amount of games played. Is that completely wrong?
I haven't seen that. I thought that I think he scored 8 league goals last season, maybe. Which in a Forest team I don't think is that bad at all. So
he's terrible. Levy!
Look, one good game and then, a couple of pods time you're going to be like, yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah, well, I figure if I slag him off, he'll probably come good. So.
Yeah.
Also, he was expensive.
Yeah.
Like more than Maddison.
Yeah. So I feel like that's got to be the homegrown tax that just gets added.
Yeah, but Maddison, is he not homegrown?
Yeah, but the fact that Maddison also was in the championship technically.
Yeah, true. And
so I feel like Leicester would be like, hey, give us 80 mil.
Yeah.
We're like, no, you need the money. Like, well, yeah, we do.
We really need it, actually.
Whereas Forest, like, we don't have to sell him.
Yeah, right, okay.
Even though we've bought 1,000 players.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then. We'll see. Seems like an absolute failure and charlatan to me, but, we'll see. I'm doing this because I want him to be good.
Yeah. I like it. I like it. I'm just curious more than anything because to be fair, I haven't, apart from when we played Forest, I haven't really seen him, and I don't remember him tearing it up against us, apart from just absolutely chopping Richarlison.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yep.
But I feel like Richarlison just has these enemies becoming friends arcs happening all the time. Like when he signed, and there's that clip with him and Romero.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll do a similar one with Johnson and Richarlison.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Otherwise, bit of tension.
Bit of tension in the forward line.
Yeah. We can't have that.
Yeah, watch this space.
Yeah.
So, yeah, overall, really, really good. We've got a little break now, and then I think we come back. We play Sheffield. I'm pretty sure, and then we have Arsenal and Liverpool.
Great.
There. I'm feeling much more confident going to the Arsenal-Liverpool games now, especially if we keep this up against Sheffield. That will actually, we could get results there, and if we come through that with a couple of wins,
No. I'm terrified that we will play them and get smashed both times, and then it will be like, okay. So that's where we're at. We can demolish teams, but when we play, really well organized opposition with really good coaches in Liverpool's case, not with Lego Man, but yeah, I've got nothing to base that on.
No, but I think Liverpool have just been so up and down, but that means as well that we could get unbelievable Liverpool, or we could get here for the taking Liverpool.
Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully the latter.
Yeah, that would be good. Hopefully they've run out of asthma medication in Liverpool.
And Salah's gets a little injury or something.
Yeah, that would be great if that happened. I feel like they always play out of their skins when they play us.
Yeah.
Like, even when they've had a horrible run of form, the game they play us, for some reason, they, like, it's either not necessarily, like, really flashy, but it's like they're really getting stuck in and wow. And maybe it's the commentary that's so pro them, but it just feels like they put in this, like, soul draining performance where they give everything and more. So maybe this season, could you just not do that?
I think it feels like that way with a few teams. Like, it's felt like that for United for, say, the last few seasons. Not the recent game.
Not the recent game. Nope. Yeah, it's because all of their players are 40 years old. So
does not help them.
Doesn't help them at all.
We've got a few questions.
Fantastic.
Yeah, Barney. Young Focus on the Discord asks, have we officially emerged from the 2019 Poch in the stands Burnley away loss wormhole today? I think so. So that is referencing where we lost 2-1 to Burnley. And Pochettino went up to Mike Dean after the game and was saying, you know what you are. He then confronted Mike Dean in the tunnel. Got a touchline ban, fined 10 grand.
Well, I wonder what he meant.
Yeah, you know what you are. You know what you are.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Are you saying it was a confident performance for me?
Thank you. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm sure of myself. Thank you.
And then back in the tunnel, the same thing. You know what you are, Mike.
I wonder what was he meant? Was he insinuating like a cheater?
A cheater, something. Yeah, but it's like I love that at that time. Poch is like, how can I call him a cheater without saying, without getting in trouble?
I'll just say, you know what you are. Not that I know, but he knows. So you can't really like. I'm just saying he knows. I'm not saying I know anything. It's quite clever, actually, even though he still got fined. I noticed. I watched the Chelsea or the end of the Chelsea game. Oh, it was great to watch. But I noticed that there was almost no cutaways to Pochettino at all. It was really weird. Like, we've had Mourinho and Conte, so obviously there's going to be cutaways all the time. But for some reason in this game, and there's heaps of cutaways to Ange, nothing. I was like, this isn't fair. Show him crying.
Maybe he's got his contract.
Yeah, no cutaways.
No cutaways unless I'm very happy.
Yeah, I was furious. I was like, I want to see him looking very upset.
Yeah. It's probably like some connection with like Todd Bowley and they own the Premier League broadcast rights and really want to show him in a good light.
Exactly. Yeah.
I would find it hilarious if Pochettino got fired.
Oh, he will. If they continue like this.
Yeah, like...
I mean, if Graham Potter got fired after Bowley was like, yeah, we're creating a new project at Chelsea, and then he fires him.
Going to play an 8-4-8 system? Yeah. Like, Pochettino should not be seen as that safe in this job because, like you said, like, Bowley's fired a lot of people, spent a lot of money, and I don't know if this is accurate, but my feeling is in US sports, if you're putting these big contracts on the table, you should say like NBA or whatever, you're probably going to have faster success. Like if you've got 5 players on the team, you bring in 1 superstar, they're probably going to really elevate things massively.
Yeah.
And I imagine as well in basketball, you've got different tactics, but you probably won't have teams coming out to really just try and lock you down in the same way that they do in a football game and just try and catch you on the break or something like that. So I feel like the fact that they've spent so much money would just be driving them insane. That they've spent £1 billion and they're not getting the results from that.
I don't know what to do now. Do we take them all to Chuck E. Cheese? I don't get
Todd, we've been to Chuck E. Cheese the last 3 weeks. Hasn't done anything.
It hasn't worked. Todd.
Do they need more cheese?
Do you need more cheese? Oh, God. What if we get some bald American eagles to fly around? No, Todd, I don't think that's going to work. Okay, I'm out of ideas.
But I think to answer the question, I think we've definitely emerged from this Burnley.
I didn't know we were in this hole.
I think, didn't we lose to Burnley with Conte? And that's where he had his outbreak?
Yeah.
That was away to Burnley as well.
True. Yeah. Very good.
Yeah,
Very good question.
Yeah. Burnley's been one of those, tough to go and play there.
Yeah. Doesn't
Tough
look like
away
it.
game.
Yeah.
Nah, not so much.
Not so much because they've got a clown in a peak cap.
Yeah.
That runs them.
I love that, Vince. It's like, well, game's over. I've got to go do that birthday party now. We've got another question here from Rantfay on Discord. What is the general sentiment in Australia regarding Ange at this stage? Is he constantly in the news? Are people starting to get sick of it? Or is everyone just delighted, proud, excited?
The latter, everyone's just stoked.
Yeah.
Everyone's just absolutely stoked, proud, excited. But it's Australia as well, so it's just a lot of like, our Ange being sung a song by Robbie Williams? Can you believe it? Like front page of the paper, every like sports report had it. Like, wow, Ange Postecoglou. Because he was very highly regarded because he won the Asian Cup with Australia and has always sort of been viewed in a very positive light. So this is just fueling the fight. Especially, we have this thing where in Australia where we'll be like, one of ours on the world stage.
Yeah.
So there's just a lot of that happening.
There is that Aussie battler on the world stage. Just poor little Australia getting up on the front of the world.
Yeah.
The world's looking at us.
We are experts
at
when we have a successful person erasing all of their hard work, their own intelligence, their graft, and just making it like they've stumbled into this like job and then actually just a bit of Aussie luck. They managed to win. Like,
what's he bloody doing there? It's amazing. It's very much that. The thing I find as well is, like you say, there's always been a lot of respect for him, but I feel like that's been from within the footballing community here.
True.
But now it's like you see like on Channel 10 News and it always makes me laugh because it's like the people presenting it clearly don't know about the sport and don't really care still, but they're just like, Ange Postecoglou's Tottenham Hotspur kicking the win against Burnley.
Yeah.
Look at this goal. Kicking the goal into the wind and it's a goal.
Yeah. What are you saying? I love
no nuance to it at all.
I love as well that, and maybe Celtic fans were calling Ange Big Ange, and I don't know that, but Tottenham fans, it was new to me. I've always known him as Mr. Ange, Angelo Postecoglou. But I've seen that now as well in the Australian media being like, Big Ange. We don't refer to anyone as big anything, do we?
No, well, I mean, we do refer to items. Like we've got like, all the landmarks in every country town is like, oh, you checked out the big cobra?
Yeah, true.
Oh, the big table?
Yeah.
Maybe that's where we're heading though. It's like, oh, you got to come to Moe and check out the big Postecoglou.
Yeah, I mean, I would not be surprised.
I actually don't know where he's from within Australia.
He's from Melbourne, isn't he?
I assume so because of the South Melbourne links.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, but maybe they're like the suburb where he's born. Maybe they'll put up a big Ange, a monument.
Yeah.
But also knowing how Australia, we normally don't do monuments and things that well.
No, we don't.
So it would be like a big paper mache something.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how we will do it in a way that's like, well, that's tasteful and good.
Yeah.
It will be. Yeah.
The two metrics we can never get.
Yeah.
It's not tasteful. It's not good. We got one more question.
Yep.
This is from David McCabe on the YouTube. I got to read the full question.
Yep.
Question for the next pod. Not on Discord, though, as that involves effort.
We got a cool guy here. Cool guy alert.
Please, for everyone else, consider signing up for Discord.
All right, we've got a chill guy alert. Everyone put on your jumpers. This guy can't be bothered.
But we have a would you rather. Tottenham win the league this season but have the title stripped in disgrace after 1 month due to FFP irregularities. I feel like David might be an accountant to get the FFP stuff in it. Or Arsenal win the league this season but have their title stripped in disgrace after 1 year due to FFP irregularities. So maybe if we distill the question to Arsenal win the title and then have it stripped for breaking the rules, or us win a title and have it stripped for breaking the rules.
But I think the timeline is very important.
It's very important. I'm just trying to work my way through the question.
Yeah. Also, David, look, if you're a chill, cool guy, I didn't mean to make fun of you. Thank you for the question.
Yeah.
I think you've added a certain flair of complexity to this question by introducing time as a very relevant variable. I think that although the wait of 1 year for Arsenal to get it stripped would be bad. It would be 1 year of thinking that they'd won.
Yeah.
But the pleasure of it being stripped after a year, after them getting to embarrass themselves with being so revoltingly like self-congratulatory and then having it pulled would be better. Because I think us like getting a month, like sure, it's a great month, and then it gets pulled, and then we've got FFP.
I feel like in that month we would know. Like if we're fans and we know that it's investigated for FFP, you'd know that like, this is not looking good.
Yeah.
I can't really enjoy this.
Wouldn't that be awful?
That'd be
Winning
the
the
worst.
league and then being like, we can't enjoy it because it's probably going to get taken away.
Oh, and if the league are like, and Man City have been released on cleared on all charges. Newcastle, not looking into that anymore. Chelsea, who gives a shit? Spurs, we're going after you.
Yeah, we're going after Spurs. What would you choose?
100% Arsenal losing. Because us winning due to FFP, because if we won and there were the FFP breaches, knowing how we run as a club and we are so far away from breaching FFP, we're always very, very well behaved in that sense. Like things would have to really start taking a turn.
Yeah.
Like in the summer, we bring in like Mbappe, we bring in Haaland, we'd have to be a lot of questionable things going on where it would be like, all right, this doesn't feel quite right if we're winning something.
Yeah,
now.
you're right. The whole season would be a bit like, I mean, this is good, but like we've got Mbappe and Haaland. We're probably like we are going to win.
Yeah,
I guess.
It's kind of like maybe into that Aussie battler thing. It's like we love being a bit of the battlers with the.
True.
We don't like having the best squad,
but
we love overachieving more than anyone. That's what we would love.
Yeah, true. And I think because Arsenal don't really win the league, so
yeah.
And you're right, they would. I mean, the other thing is like, there's the frustration at the moment with Chelsea or Man City or Newcastle where you're like, they can't do this. What? This is surely not allowed, and nothing seems to be happening. Or every year, the FA or whoever comes out and it's like, Man City's actually been really naughty and we're going to get them this time. And then they lose. They get destroyed by Man City every single time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's a better option.
Yeah, to see Arsenal get done, hilarious. Incredible.
And see Arteta get to go, it's actually great. It's great.
This is part of the process.
Yeah, part of the process. Oh, God. All right, well.
Yeah.
That's us.
Little short one for today.
Yeah, a little cute, tiny one. We need to end. You can tell I'm cooking it.
Please submit any questions you have either on the YouTube in the comments or on the Discord.
Yeah.
Because we'll do an episode next week, which is during the international break. So get questions in.
Questions, please.
Provide some insight.
Yeah, God, I love the questions. They are the thing I'm most excited for every episode.
Yeah, and the more complex, the better, please.
Yeah, no, don't say that. I know that Young Focus will then come up with the most complex question in the world.
Oh, that's what I'm going to live my whole week waiting for.
Okay, what if I get a nosebleed while we're trying to read it?
Then that adds to the question even more.
Well, thank you very much for listening. Great week for Spurs. I've been Barney.
I've been Dan.
And come on, you Spurs.